Hello, and of course, welcome. How are you, dear friends? I am undoubtedly excited, thrilled by the idea that you get to spend yet another evening delving into the complexities of the real world with me. And of course, this daring and motley crew of would-be adventurers, heroes, martyrs, and of course, villains. But as you know, or have come to find out, deciding someone's true title, their makeup, what you'll call them, is only decided at the end of the story, and we are far from it. This one having been made in the long run. We hope that we see the fruit of this labor come to bear and that it will be sweet. But be wary, dear listener. Though you may reap what you sow, what has been sown may not be the bread you break over your own table. Some wine, some berries crushed into juice are not as sweet as you would have hoped them to be. But that's enough about hopes and wishes and dreams in the future. We have things to get to in the present, and we can't do that until someone does something very important first. Until someone does the recap.
It's been a while. I can do it. Unless someone else wants it or needs it for tonight.
Please.
All right. So we started off last session back in Darkhold, where Chimera was starting to raise an army with Shayna's help and some very lucky dice rolls. He ended up with 34 Dragonborns who will be molded into soldiers. The perspective then returned to the rest of the party, who was on the train and just arriving in Neverwinter. And Gloom then spent some time going to each party member and rallying them around their own sort of tasks in performing. That performance happened, and the party returned back to, I forget what the stat is, but it's like full renown. Let's say renown for now. And then the party's leaders all gathered in a sort of a demi-plane kind of space where Baron took the floor. Plans were sort of discussed. Baron's pitch was to kill Madame Vile. Atlantis wanted to go home so that he could fight his brother to death. Bloom wanted to gain more followers. And then that would allow the party to get more help from Gloom's patron. And then the party rode into to Neverwinter and performed. And I think that's where we called it a night last time.
Anything to add from anyone?
No, seems fair to me.
All right, take your well-deserved point of inspiration. As we do pick up our story back at Cirque Magnifique in the great city of Neverwinter. But it is important to know that in the great move to Neverwinter, not all things were addressed. One of those things being the Van Heinrich estate, which, of course, would not, without some type of magical workings, would not wrest itself from its location and follow the circus. No, the mansion would, of course, stay rooted in Darkhold, where it belongs. But where does that leave the Van Heinrichs? Currently working towards a harrowing ritual, a coming of age for their youngest. Stark endeavoring into this uncharted territory, this cultivation of unlife, is something that you have yet to do, to raise a child so unique like Faust. But this moment is perhaps the reason that it is all worth it. Godfrey, Victor, and of course Taiga work to make preparations, ensuring that this transformation, this next step, is as comfortable for Faust as possible. After this ritual, Faust will go on his first hunt. But that is assuming he survives the ritual to begin with. Stark, in the chapel, Victor has just brought you the last of the armaments you will need for this process. Loon is standing by the front door, just in case. Taiga nearby, and Faust in front of you.
All preparations are finished. Are you ready, Faust?
Yes, yes, my Lord Stark. I am as ready as perhaps I will ever be.
Very well. This is going to be very, very painful. I apologize in advance. Taiga, Have you brought me the chains?
And slowly, the stoic vampiric warrior approaches, chains bundled in their hands.
If you would. Please. Chain Faust.
And quickly, he moves to Faust and gently wraps several rounds of this thick metal chain around him. Is the chain necessary, Lord Stark?
For what you're about to go through, yes, it is very necessary. Victor, bring me the chalice.
And Victor places it in your hands, leaving the chalice in your fingertips and leaving you with a knowing glance.
Stark will pick up a sword, a blade, neatly placed on the table. Slowly begin approaching Faust. Try not to die, Faust. Quickly, he thrusts the blade into Faust's chest. You will then leave the blade and grab another. Once again, another blade thrusts, pierces through Faust's
He can't help but with each blade to writhe and to scream out in pain, but he grits his teeth and you can see he attempts to bear it. Blood pools underneath each of the wounds, begins to soak his clothing.
right. This is the last one, Faust. You're nearly done. Stark bites onto his hand, and he forms his bound weapon. his scimitars. Now this one. This one may hurt the most. He walks up to Faust and plunges both blades on either side of his shoulders.
And a blood-curdling scream jets out Faust's mouth, screaming from his throat. He can't help but to wrestle in the chains, blood streaming from his face in tears, and the many wounds on his body, gasping for air, breathing heavily. The blood begins to pool all around him. It begins slowly to beat and pulsate.
It seems it's time. Stark will begin to bend the blood. Start moving it into the chalice. Once the chalice has been filled, Stark is going to drink.
The sweet, salty, metallic taste of the blood of the ancients slips past your lips. The blood that you and Stark and all of your lineage share.
All right, Faust. The final step. If you cannot hold back, you will be killed. Without hesitation. Stark looks at all of his children. You all know what to do, yes?
Tiger draws a sword. Victor cracks all the knuckles in each hand. And Godfrey's hand crackles with arcane energy.
Stark once again approaches Faust. This may be a bit nostalgic for you. Stark rolls up his sleeve. And lets Faust feed.
He rears down and drinks heavily from your wrist. Almost fast when you push him away to stop.
Stark will then slowly begin removing the blades still impaling Faust. Except for his scimitars. Those he will let melt into Faust.
And you can see this blood, this blade formed into solid material, burns into Stark's skin and they begin to wail in pain. The process is enough to make them strain even more against the chains, to bend at them. You can see them almost break, quivering under Stark's strength, or excuse me, Faust's strength. Slowly but surely, Faust keels over and retches, twists and writhes until chain links begin to pop. Their muscles contract and expand. Their screams echo throughout the night until finally the last of the scimitars melt into their body. Slowly, Stark, you see Faust lay limp. Their writhing slowly stop. Their screaming die down into slow, soft whimpers. The claws of their hands retreating. Their fangs pulling out of their lower lips. No longer biting down and impaling on that skin. The harrowing has been completed.
Alright. Stark falls to one knee. That took a lot more out of me than I thought it would.
Godfrey steps to your side and makes sure that you can stand. Just be glad that it didn't go wrong, because I don't think any of us were ready to take him on. Especially if he went into a frenzy.
Yes. That is the issue.
He's fine now. I will watch over him.
Many thanks, Godfrey. I need to rest.
Taiga, please take him. We will assure that your boy is fine, my Lord Stark. But when you are done resting, remember, there is much we need to attend to. And you should know, this circus has moved on to Neverwinter.
I see. I suppose I should take care of business here first, before I travel to Neverwinter.
I would think it is best, my Lord Stark.
Very well. Loon. Bring me a bottle of wine.
Yes, my Lord Stark. Right away.
Right, my children. Disperse. We will meet when I am well rested and when the boy awakens.
Tyga escorts you off to your chambers, and Victor and Godfrey go to their busy work. Pringles, of course, is attached to your ankle, so you have a nibbling demon to sleep and cuddle with. And as Stark falls into rest, as daylight approaches, we fade not to black, but into the light. Farther from Neverwinter than we would expect. In fact, farther from Toril than we would ever dream. Amidst the gods, there are many creatures that have been chosen, favored, if you will. Those brought along into this world to serve a purpose, to walk a path. Many creatures will never realize this purpose or path, but for those that do, a true and higher calling, a true and unwavering purpose, a true and righteous path are all afforded to. Shantea, goddess of life, goddess of light, goddess of love, of rebirth, and her child. Son to the Dawnbringer. The Morning Lord, the one we wake up to in all glory, the one who shines his brilliant light upon us. The two wed in matrimony, and their marriage sanctified in holy light, shed across a pantheon, across a world. That child would go on not only to prove they're worthy as chosen, but to ascend to these ranks, to ascend to godhood. But has the good work truly been done? As angels peering down onto the great work of the deities is a futile and frustrating exercise. You watch, Kuldan, as your work, your crusade in life, is slowly undone by the machinations of those who fall prey to their greed, their lust for power, their envy of others, their wrath, their sloth, their pride. You watch as the few last lights of hope disappear. And your only hope is that there is something left in the pieces that you have hidden that will make some difference. Though your hands itself are tied, from your perch in the heavens, you see a few last remaining threads. A few sparks of light hidden around the globe of Toril.
So much effort for endeavors that will end fruitless. When will these simple beings learn? Even my own sacrifice taught them nothing. Scriptures. Quiet. Are the forces of evil truly this powerful upon this world? Or are my endeavors the ones that are fruitless?
And as you say this, Kuldan, you juxtapose the two. You peer through the mists and through the verse to see that evil. To see the strange workings of Cirque Magnifique as it lands in Neverwinter. And you see the debauchery. You see spirits tricking mortals and trading places. You see dark dealings, necromantic magic. You see them reaping the benefits of the death of the dream unicorn. And you see that they still have the soul of one of your emissaries, of a sister born into Theros, whose own machinations and own strivings matched yours by a large margin. But on the other hand, not far from Neverwinter, you also see a light. One of those small threads left behind by you in your wake. A child blessed. Twice. Once by you, and once by the clergy. Raised by Shantae's chapel here, this child showed great light working abilities. Now, a young priest, this young man is awaiting the call, and the spark could be awakened in him to heed it. Even further through the dreaming across worlds, you see the marks left by a war-torn Eberron. And there, a growing aberrant threat spreads. A familiar face, insidious in nature, seeds itself throughout Eberron and slowly begins to gain influence, spreading like a virus, much like it already had on Tor. But here too are two sparks of light. Sisters, twins, two halves of a whole. The child of Asamar, gifted by blood, but lost to this war-torn world. Should they find their way to the light that you give them, if you give it to them, they shall be what is needed to combat these dark forces. And finally, the greatest shadow grows, not amidst these plains, but along the astral seas. And it is there that you see the light in the distance. The light of hope, the light of eons, the many stars that dart the cosmos, fading, being swallowed whole by an ancient power that drives fear through your spine. A power great enough to slay gods. As you harness light in your chest and invoke Shantaea and the Dawnbringer's blessings, it expands from your chest and you say a last blessing to spark the three lights you have found, to spurn them to join the cause.
And Cooldown would float above them, not seen, but almost as a spirit guiding them. And about their own business, a warm breeze would come across their face. And the scent of home, a warm hearth, a fresh loaf of bread, a caring embrace, all these emotions swiftly fleeting over each one of them, bearing some of the weight of the dire situation.
Soft, mystic breeze, and a divine calling sent to a new generation that will hopefully intervene. But that is still to be seen. As the darkness on the astral horizon encroaches ever closer, spelling out a doom for everyone involved. But in this darkness we fade back to where the meat of our story takes place. Not to darken the mood too much with all this serious business, we have a show to run. And on the grounds of Cirque Magnifique, we find the party is in full swing.
Oh, Tempo, won't you buy me a hot dog? That sounds fabulous right now. The party is in full swing.
As you look around, Z, Tempo is nowhere to be found. But you do have all sorts of snacks, libations, and goodies stacked up in your arms. Some of which you've noticed have just fallen onto the ground. You pick one up and notice another one to your other side falls, and you repeat this process a couple times until woman slithers up to you, gathers them up into a little pouch, and hands it to you. I believe this will work better for you.
Well, thank you. I was prepared to eat them off the ground. They are just too scrumptious to waste.
Goulash! Boogie bread!
There's more. Well, the wonders never cease.
You you are the new train conductor. Is that correct? I'm Harumi. It is
Oh,
quite nice to meet you.
oh, you flatter me. I'm just an old man with a couple of tricks up his sleeve. I am flattered to be an audience member for this great carnival.
Well, I did come to understand that you know a great deal about mechanical objects and their workings.
Oh, yes, quite a bit.
Perhaps you know something about this object I have. It eludes me. I've experimented with many things, but this escapes me.
Happy to take a look.
She pulls out a small puzzle box. It's metal. Seems to be made of brass. It's intricate. The designs and cuts in the metal are round and swirling.
His face goes perfectly still. And then gets really, really, really excited. And grabs it and fiddles with it a little bit, and then taps the side of his head, and these massive goggles come out, and then 3 or 4 little sub goggles come out and like flick down lenses over the main ones, and he starts examining and looking all over the place. Oh yes, quite interesting. It's a natural mechanical piece, but it's molded with magic. It's quite a piece. Where did you get something like this?
It was given to me a long time ago back at my home realm. I've just never quite known what to do with it.
Well, jiggles it a little bit close to his ear. I'm fairly certain this is a container, and there's something inside of it, or there was, or there potentially could be. Anything's possible. Would you like to open it?
If you can, I would love to see what's inside. I'm so curious.
Well, all right. So he thinks for a second, and then rummages inside his suit jacket, and his arm goes way further in than it should. Pulls out a couple of devices that could be tools, and grabs them, kind of energizes, starts pulling them apart slightly, and the box just kind of floats in between them as all these little hands or mandibles come out and start like poking the box and manipulating and turning ever so slightly, and then it just starts solving like a Rubik's cube. And Z does something arcane, something that it has nothing to do with mechanics. But has everything to do with solving puzzles.
Displacer dogs, mimic muffins.
And all of a sudden, Z loses interest and drops a cube and displacer dogs. I need a hot dog. Need a hot dog. Goes
From around the wagon, a very jester-like bringer steps in front of you with a big fish in his right hand. Says, "Big, smelly, stinky fish! Big, smelly fish, you, sir! Care to buy my fish?"
Yes. One big smelly stinky fish, please.
3 pieces.
Right here.
And he takes a fish, a mackerel as large as 2 hands can hold, and slaps it into your chest.
Oh, yes, splendid.
What happened?
Oh, yes, box is open.
Open?
Oh, yeah, right there. Points at the ground, very engrossed in this big, smelly, stinky fish.
And from out his sleeve, he begins pulling a grinder, like a pepper grinder, and just keeps pulling and pulling. And this massive grinder is now revealed that he begins grinding salt on your fish.
Oh,
Tell me when.
keep going. Okay.
He throws it over his shoulder. Well, that was easier than I thought. He begins walking off.
He sits down and kind of munches. So what was in it?
You look over and you see Harumi's holding the globe, the box, but it's now a globe. The square form it once was in is almost expanded around a form of glowing light. I'm not sure. It's interesting.
Yep, sure is.
Thank you. I knew you'd be able to help. And she slowly starts to walk off back, or slither off back towards her tent, I should say.
Yep, my pleasure. Have you tried the big, stinky, salty fish? It's very good. Kind of brandishes it in their general direction.
I prefer the sturge stacks.
Oh, Sturge stacks. Gotta go. Thank you. Have fun with your cube sphere. And Z kind of hobbles off towards Sturge stacks. Whatever that might be.
And you very quickly find out it is sturges, which a sturge is basically like a giant mosquito-like creature, baked after they've been engorged with a lot of blood, and then their sacks are cut after they've been roasted and sliced, and it's like big blood pies, and they're stacked up like pancakes.
Oh, just like Mama used to make.
Gross.
We used to call them blood pancakes in the Shadow Vale, but yeah, can't beat them. These are particularly good.
Yeah.
We're my hats off to the Bloodbringer, or Pancake Bringer, or Sturge Bringer, or all three.
What else goes on in the circus that is of importance right now, Gloombringer?
Well, let's see.
Anything of importance that we need to do at the circus? If not, what
Not,
is next? Where are we?
not on the top of my brain.
Because I did my storytelling things now. So it is up to y'all. Where would you like to go? Tell me who Z bumps into next.
I kind of want to see Z have a interaction with Droogsbringer.
He would have to go through several channels to get up to Drewsbringer. There'd be Dimebringer, Slicebringer, Dealer of the Dealer Bringers. There's like a hierarchy.
Hierarchy. Yeah.
No, Z is high on life.
And whatever was in the salt shaker.
And whatever's in the salt shaker.
I would very much like to think that Gloombringer would not be resting in management, and even though we performed tonight, there's many things on Notebringer's list that should be doing. So he would possibly have an outfit ready for the evening.
Okay, go off, King. I was muted. But yes, what is this outfit like? What are we talking? And what are you dressing for impression?
Well, probably something we needs to be doing on the list per our last conversation.
Go on, don't
We
be
are
vague.
looking for the children of Igwilib.
Yes, that's right. With
A child of shadow and a child of star.
Yes. Oh, that's where we should go next. We should go to Charmcaster, who Gloombringer is finding, to discuss locating one of these Sisters of Shar.
Okay, I believe that is a great idea. And we
And Dream would be coming too, probably, yeah? Or is she asleep?
You need me?
No, you're my expert on these matters.
I've never knew my siblings. Never knew they existed till now. Don't know what help I'll be.
Yes, but I mean, if you truly are sisters, then perhaps there's something of yours, or maybe a memory somewhere, that you're just not seeing yet. And Charmcaster's eyes see, well, just about everything, I think. Come now.
Well, okay.
And Gloombringer basically pulls Dream out of the revelry, or the nightcap, I mean. And towards a small tent further in the back, moved more out of the way, that is attached to also a small little cabin. Gloombringer, you knock on the cabin door. Hello? Who's there?
None other.
Gloombringer, it's not a great time right now. Can you come back later?
Are you bathing? It's hardly 6 p.m.
No, it's a little more, and you hear a flash and a bang, and someone yell inside.
Are you okay? Who else is in there?
It's fine. I just... Oh, fuck. No, no, no! You hear another loud crash.
Charmcaster, do you need assistance?
There's no response on the other side of the door, but you do hear more ruckus on the inside.
And I'll look to Dream like, she didn't say anything, should I?
It sounds like they are indisposed in a personal matter.
Crashing
You understand.
intensifies inside.
My eyes widen. Yes, perhaps.
Be
Gloombringer,
Be-
you...
be sure to come by Revelry and dream about this sometime.
No, of course not. I couldn't. Maybe Jeannie could help us. I don't know. It's really...
Gloombringer, this is definitely not a time to wait around. Whatever the hell is going on, she's not handling it by herself.
I'm just gonna... I'll just check to see if she's okay. And peek the door open a bit, cautiously, as I'm more scared of Charmcaster than I am of whatever's inside.
And you see she's trying to wrangle some creature that's tearing amok through her cabin. Crawling all over the walls, tearing everything down, yelling and ranting and raving. And you see it's the man you saved, stark naked, crashing about the cabin, flying blindly into everything, yelling and screaming incoherently. And Charmcaster is, in the softest manner you've ever seen her, attempting to calm him down. Very, very poorly. She is trying to speak, but he's not listening at all, and he's just hurting himself. She's clearly worried, but helpless.
Dream's gonna start singing a lullaby and use calm emotion
the save?
That is a great question. What is the save now? Because Crescent is spell save DC 13, but I got one from those tasty little meals, so 24.
Okay, 24. 24 charisma?
That is a I don't think it's. I think it's probably a wisdom save. But let's check.
And can you let me know the DC too, or the number roll, in case it passes?
Arcanist. Never mind. That is not an illusion spell.
Calm emotions?
Yeah.
No, it's an enchantment spell.
Do you not have it?
I don't have it.
Oh, okay, cool.
I can
Put him to sleep.
put him to sleep. Let's just put him to
Try.
sleep.
You could
That
try.
was my first option, but you need a lot of HP. I was possibly thinking just charming them. I could just command them.
That doesn't work.
What is No, I don't think that would make a difference. I could just do that instead, and it would be the same effect. No. I'm just trying to see the most minimally invasive way to do this. Because I'm still frightened.
I'll ninth level sleep,
Okay.
which is
It's a lot of dice.
5. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. It's 8, so 16, 21.
$21 is the DC, or?
Nope. Ooh, that wasn't a great roll.
Is that for sleep?
Yep.
Yeah,
So 87 hit points worth.
that's not gonna do it. You can see the bustling form of this creature as it strains against the cabin walls. As he is flying into the walls, he's cracking the wood. Eventually, if he keeps doing this, you think he would actually get out. He's quite strong. And even further than that, as soon as you cast the spell, Dream, he stops mid-flight with a supernatural agility. His head whips towards you, and he immediately darts down, wings behind him as he shoots like a torpedo, his fangs bared and his claws outstretched. You can hear Charmcaster immediately scream. She wails out, "No!" Everyone roll initiative.
Dream gets a 13.
20.
Hex gets a 23. And Charm gets a 26. So she's gonna go first. And let me see. She's gonna attempt to calm emotions herself with her psionic spells. And Hex will make a charisma saving throw.
Oh, I can do Calm Emotions. It's a Moonstone Dragon spell.
I
Your
was
dragon's
wondering,
not
yeah.
here.
I was like, yeah, you did. She is the dragon. Remember?
I am the dragon.
Oh, that's right.
Hex rolls a 4 on the dice and gets a
Oh, okay.
24 on the save.
That's easy. Discordance. Subtract 2, please.
So 22
22.
still passes. Yeah. And his rage burns through. And like a bloodhound, he sniffs out the magic caster and is still racing towards them. But mid-flight, as she casts the spell, he stops and just like he did before, like on a turn of a dime, starts to bolt towards Charmcaster. That was her action. Bonus action. She will wave a sigil in front of her hands and create a force field, bracing herself as she quickens a spell. She sort of like braces for impact after she does that. And that was Blade Ward as a bonus action for Charmcaster. That's gonna go to, I believe, Hexweaver, who dashes in and with bare hands rears down into her. And as he slams into her, let's see if she can make the save. She makes the save. She takes half damage. She takes 8 which she takes half of again because of Blade Ward, so she takes 4 damage from him as he slams down into her and almost tackles her into the ground. That was the first attack. And with the second, he'll let out a bellowing roar that emanates into a ray of fire from his mouth. A 23 will miss Charmcaster as she just
Wait,
moves her head out of the way from his fire beam.
San, did Charmcaster get hit by attack?
She did.
I would like to warding maneuver that. If it's not too late.
Which would...
Would add a D8 to her armor class.
Nice. She did already... Wait, does it do it for that attack or the next ones afterwards?
Just that one.
Okay. So she'll keep her... she will keep her... force field. And this attack still misses her. So both attacks miss now. Tackles her to the ground, but the force field stays intact as Dream, you step up, and how do you help her in this instance?
I bat him slightly off target with a wing that sprouts out of my back.
And you kind of dash forward after him doing this, kind of catch his turbulence, change his flight trajectory, and knock him off just enough so that way she doesn't actually take damage when he collides into her. And she's able to dodge out of the way of his fire beam as it roars from his mouth. And I believe, Gloombringer, this is the moment where you're able to act. Hopefully able to subdue him.
And I will attempt to dominate person.
What's
Please
the
make a
save?
wisdom save. Wisdom 20.
Okay. Wisdom 20. 15.
And I'll enter inside their mind and telepathically tell them to stand down.
As you enter Hexweaver's mind, you enter a primal void space. A bellowing roar. A nightmarish and hollow emptiness. What you hear inside are screams of agony and pain, of perpetual fear, anger. His mind is broken, and he's in a primal state. And even as you command him and quell him to stop, his psyche and therefore his body vibrates with hate and rage and pain. You can feel him growling. You could feel everything in him seething.
And I would look to Charmcaster, say, I don't know how long I can hold him. What's going on?
This is what being locked away in a lair of hell will do to you. He needs time to adjust. He's not. It's different there. It's not like you would understand. It was
Charmcaster, I'm not trying to understand. Do you have any way to neutralize him?
neutralize him. He needs time to acclimate, and you scared him.
Can
He
you
was.
calm him down?
She's going to walk slowly over to him. And she puts fingertips first on his shoulders, and he reacts, but your mental hold stays. And slowly she works her way enough to be able to put both hands on either side of his head. She closes her eyes, and slowly his begin to open. And where you would expect to see empty sockets, you see Charmcaster's same glowing purple eyes. That deep, dark, mystic purple. For a moment, he takes in his surroundings. And he looks at his sister. And his hand reaches for hers. And all he says is, "I'm sorry." A few moments later, Charmcaster has laid him to rest, and she meets with you in her tent connected to the cabin. Thank you, and I'm sorry about all that. I I mostly had it under control. He's just really easy to spook.
Charmcaster, you don't have to do everything by yourself. If you needed assistance or special accommodations, be forward with me. Let me know. Lest a rampage on the carnival goers is on our midst, but
You don't need me for that. I did hear about the nightmare beads.
well, yes, we aren't without our problems, but this is why I'm trying to stay ahead of the game. So,
He's
if
not
you
a
need
threat.
something, yeah, perhaps a gentler space, something a bit quieter.
A padded room, you're suggesting.
No, Charmcaster, just somewhere
Got it.
where you and your brother can spend the time to heal what can be healed.
Thank you for your concern, Gloombringer. But really, I've got it handled. Seriously. But that's not what you came here for, right?
Well, you know me far too well. Dream and I, well, we require your assistance. Your vision. Remember?
I do. She walks over to a table to pour herself a drink. She offers one to each of you.
Oh, yes, please.
Never, never turn down hospitality.
So tell me, what did you bring, and who are we looking for?
I brought a sister 3. We must find the other 2.
Yes, apparently, my mother has been quite busy, and I have siblings that I had no idea I had.
Isn't it such a weird concept, thinking of your parents getting busy? She slowly and coolly sips her drink, and
There
crystal
is
balls begin.
Kind
there is an
coughing on
image that will never leave my head.
coughing on my drink. Charmcaster, try to be serious.
I am. It's weird.
Yes, well, we were hoping that perhaps Dream could assist you in locating the other 2. Perhaps there's something, a similarity.
Well,
Yeah,
blood is blood.
I really don't know how I can help, but I'm certainly willing.
Just stand right where you are. That's help enough. And again, she takes a sip of her drink, and the ice in the glass clinks. She sets it back down. And crystal balls slowly but surely begin to creep from their perspective stands along the walls and begin to orbit around. Now, you said there's 3 of you, so you're triplets, or?
I don't know. All I know is there are 3, one of the Fae, one of the Shadow, and one of the Astral. And I could surmise that I'm the Fae one. So that leaves Shadowfell and the Astral Plane.
Right. Let me see if I can focus on those aspects. Her eyes
And,
open wide, and the deep glow within them shines. And you can see her view reflected in the many crystal balls that float in the space around you. Gloombringer, you were saying?
Gloombringer, finishing his drink and now has gotten bored, just begins strumming their guitar, but would be giving bardic inspiration to Charmcaster in her endeavors.
Alright. Charmcaster is going to attempt I feel as though it's scrying, but I'm... Okay, I'm gonna roll this. As each of the siblings for scrying as Charmcaster attempts to locate them.
$17.
One of the crystal balls begins to descend down, and in it, there is an image of an elf. Not a woman, but a man. Describe what we see in the crystal ball.
You would see a rugged, dark-skinned Shadrakai with their boots up on a picnic table, smoking a cigar, with a rifle kind of perched on their shoulder, resting, as they kind of just survey the carnival and its goers.
You're telling me he's been right under your nose the whole time?
By how do you mean?
Gloombringer, look at the crystal ball. Where is that elf?
And I focus in a bit harder. Well, that's... I mean, are they? I thought it was 2 sisters. Or 3 sisters. Sisters 3?
Are you telling me I have a brother? This is unexpected. And
This is your blood relative.
and they're here?
Appears so.
Follow the crystal ball. And it whisks its way out of the room. Out of the tent, I mean.
And Gloomringer excitedly would follow. Dream, are you coming?
I guess. I'll get up hesitantly and follow along.
Good luck.
We should probably make sure that he's not on her side.
Oh. Well, how should we do this? Say you. No, that's a bit. I'll go?
Um, I guess I've been running away from family issues this whole time, and according to Baron, that's part of the problem. I guess this is something I have to do.
I'll be just around the corner. If it gets any worse.
Reem clutches at the charms around her neck. All right, let's. No better time than now.
And the crystal ball nearby you almost perks up and glows in agreement and floats closer towards its destination, leading you directly towards the elf leaning about the picnic table nearby, seemingly lounging in the daylight.
I'll approach and sit down nearby. Kind of eye him up. Is there anything obviously magic or hag or corrupted, anything remind me or indicate that he might be working with Igwilov, just on the surface? Definitely
No.
not subtle about it.
No, you wouldn't sense or feel anything magical about their person at all. More a lack thereof. And
Quite amazing what they've built here, this carnival.
and not turning to look at you or changing their gaze, takes a long drag of the cigar and exhales. Sure brings in people from all walks of life. What brings you here?
I can certainly echo the sentiment. I was brought here on an errand to set things right, and kind of got looped into this extravaganza of a circus. It's been a couple of stops now.
Looped in, you say? Seems to be an awful lot going on.
Yes, that's might be the understatement of the year. And you? I hear the big salty smelly fish bring quite a few tourists.
Now, taking his feet down from off the bench and turning to match you at the table, kind of looks at you, makes eye contact, and then inspects the rest of your person. I drift. I tell you one thing. It wasn't the smelly fish that brought me here.
No. Business or pleasure?
Perhaps a bit of both.
Well, this might be a little bit forward, but I think you're my brother, and I was wondering if you could help me.
Your brother. Listen, there's one of those silly bringers that came through here earlier. They're carrying a cheese wheel. You wouldn't happen to be one of those jesters?
I'm afraid I'm serious. And I'm on the hunt for a third sibling.
Now you're just spinning fairy tales.
That is my specialty. You should come to Revelry. But, I don't know how to say this, but, we of the circus have reason to believe that we, as in you and me, have the same blood, and that blood comes from a common mother. Do you know your mother?
And kind of looks to the left and looks to the right and back to you. You bring up an awful lot. I haven't even gotten your name. Perhaps we retreat to somewhere a bit more suiting of a conversation, such as this.
Fine. Come with me. I have somewhere safe we can talk. And I will lead you into I'll go through the door for Revelry, but instead of going to Revelry, we'll go to a glade in the Dreaming. We can talk freely here, for I am the master of this domain. Well, for the time being. Part of which is what I want to talk to you about.
As you step
You
through
may-
the doorway, you feel magic wash over you, Slayer. That same feeling that you've grown to know very well to distinguish from the real world, the waking world. What's real? What matters? This is definitely one of those things that you gotta watch out for.
And a visible chill would run down my spine as I'm uncomfortable but pushing through.
you may call me Dream. And here we are in the dreaming, in the borders between the Feywilds and the Shadow. This is where creatures come when they sleep. There is a balance to maintain between daydream and nightmare. And that balance has been upset by our mother.
Dream, or my sister, as it were. You keep going on about this mother, and, well, looking around myself, I hate to break it to you, but you seem far too magical for us to have lineage. I'm afraid I'm not that magical of a being, as it were.
I was born of the Fae. You were born of the Shadow. And my friend sees all and sees things for how they truly are. And I have put my faith in her in this. Seems very likely that it is true. I wish I knew of a greater test. I am sure that witch could tell us, but I'm not eager to consult her.
And where's your proof? How do you come to these conclusions?
As I said, it's I have it on authority from one who sees all and see things as they are, that you are he.
I don't know what to say. Don't know if I even believe you.
What can you tell me of your mother?
She was a great warrior. She fought with my father. Um, there's no
Are
way she could have.
are you working with her?
Am I working with my mother? No. She's been gone for some time, since I was but an adolescent. But you have to understand, your story, as it sounds, doesn't
Well,
seem to add up.
let me tell you about my mother. I grew up with my mother. And all through my childhood, I did whatever she said. It was foolish, I see now. That little girl that I used to be wanted nothing but her approval and her recognition and her love. It was almost there. Always almost there. But that silly girl grew up and realized who my mother truly was. Selfish, manipulative, and above all, power hungry. I have it, my whole childhood, my upbringing was nothing but a ploy. I was a pawn in her scheme. I was made to serve some purpose. And as soon as I realized, I ran as fast as I could and found a home in the dreaming. And I have been running, but she is back, and our paths have crossed again. And she has thrown off the balance of this place. She has sided with the nightmares. The nightmares constantly attack. They seeped into the circus not 2 nights ago. And we need to stop her. I don't know how to do that. All I know is that she had me and you and one other that were keys to her plan. So I'm here. Maybe I'm just that silly girl again. But I think it's something only you and I and this third person can do to stop her.
And almost to himself, none of this is adding up. And turning back to you, and what, I'm just supposed to lay down my rifle for the cause? You realize this is insane, what you're talking about.
I deal in dreams. Nothing makes any sense to me ever. and everything is possible all the time. So this isn't too far-fetched for me. I must apologize.
And kind of motioning to my rifle. I deal in death. And yes, anything is possible. Anyone is killable.
Well-
Even who you speak of, but for me to help you, what's the point?
Well, that certainly simplifies things, doesn't it? You deal in death, and I am in need of some dealing. Um, are you interested in a job? The death dealing kind.
And kind of smirking to themselves, turning to a cold grimace. Well, what's the offer?
Um, what entices you? There are plenty of forms of payment. Will gold do, or do you want something more rarefied? We've got a god of death on our side. You'd like eternal life. That's certainly doable. Let's see. There is a wonderful circus around us. Sure, something can be offered there. Ooh, how about a hot dog? I hear they're very good here. So yeah, that's kind of the spectrum. Anywhere between hot dog and eternal life.
I'm thinking, Ben. You can't just ask me to make a deal and then I have an answer ready to go.
Here, why don't you talk to Gloombringer? He has bottomless pockets.
I've heard quite a bit about this Gloombringer.
That's kind of mean, Ben.
Who else is he supposed to talk to?
And I don't require money. What I seek is information.
Ooh, juicy.
However,
Next
sister,
lover.
I do not believe our acquaintance is close enough. Give me 3 days, and you'll have your decision.
Will you enjoy the circus in the meantime?
Yes, I heard the mimic muffins are delicious. I was thinking of grabbing one of those. Have you had them?
I have not had the chance. I do suggest the starch cakes, though.
Mm.
Well,
If it ain't fresh blood from the Underdark, it just doesn't taste the same.
that was a lot. I definitely understand. You've got a lot to think about. You know, I know you have a sibling who is asking you to kill their mother, who's probably your mother. That could probably be a leap. But yeah, we've got plenty of entertainment, and I'm sure we can find a price that we can both agree on. Any idea where our astral sibling is?
And oh, I guess I can't. Never mind. No.
Okay, well, I'll keep looking for them.
Yeah, I'll tell you if I see her.
That would be great. So, stick around, and hope to hear from you in 3 days. Feel free to come by Revelry and dream a little dream. And sorry, I was kind of caught up in my own thing. I don't think I caught your name.
Call me Slayer.
Ooh, dark and brooding. I like it.
Good night, dream.
Sleep well. And she'll show him out.
As we fade to black here, or should I say once again, we fade to light. Slowly, we find ourselves once again amidst the heavens. And Cooldawn, your work not quite done yet, alights one last spark with the hope that this creature could find redemption. From the very beginning, this story started with young, burgeoning adventurers. And amidst those adventurers, very few of them survive. But one of them seems to persist, even through death. Through the shadows of the ethereal, you feel from the depths of darkness, lost to the void, to oblivion, your soul called back by divine powers. Called before cooldawn. Nordle, the turtle. For the first time in several years, it seems, your body has reformed. And here, amidst the heavens, an angel, a familiar one, looks at you.
Ah, it is good to see you, friend.
What the hell is this?
No, actually, this isn't hell.
It's been a long time, pulled on. But I knew it was you. Smell of freshly cooked bread.
Shantaea's grace never left me. I just pray that one day her grace will touch you, Nordal. Perhaps that day has come.
It is bizarre that I'm here in Shantaea's space. I'm not surprised that to you she said, Shantae, you stay, but to me, I was expecting more of a sachet away. We never really got that close. Did spend some time with one of her friends, I believe.
And tell me, friend, if her grace was to come across you, what would one do with a second chance?
I guess I'd be in her debt.
It seems not much has changed about your spirit. The old me remembers. Well,
Is that why you brought me here?
it is not my will that guides the actions of this world, Nortal, but our faith.
So is that why I'm here? Are we getting the old party together? Bring Kath? Bring the little fox man? Go fight a dragon?
Times haven't been this dire in some millennia, but a fire of hope burns. And only time will tell what you've learned.
So is that... Is that it? Are we... Are we doing anything? Or...
Go now, Nordal. And know, I'm always with you.
Alright, I'll... see. Thinking back to Nordal? I think we left him off in Waterdeep. He had a teleportation circle. Nordal will make an attempt to go back to his teleportation circle at I think he was in a university that was sort of like co-sponsored by Azuth.
You wouldn't even have to channel any magic, Nordal, as Kuldon's divine touch, as he grazes your cheek, sends you directly down to Tortle. To Toril.
That's a good slip.
And you're not actually sent to the chapel or academies of Azuth.
That's fine because just quick little note. As this is happening, just for sheer cheek, Nordal would cast darkness one more time on Cooldown.
it doesn't work. But it is noted that you try.
And as Cooldown's like fading into the distance of the clouds, he just like smirks and smiles. It's good to see his old friend once more, and he has not changed.
You see Cooldown like has a little darkness bubble in his hand. He's like kind of cherishing it, cherishing the moment and the idea.
Like, aw, how cute.
I couldn't help myself.
um, the location that you're actually sent to is one that we'll find out sooner rather than later, but not as soon as you would hope, unfortunately. As we fade from this scene.
Alright, let's see. On my character sheet, Nordal, the backup Tortle, I do have advantage on my perception. But
As we fade here, we to find ourselves. Oh, well, actually, let's do a time check. I want to
Free.
do Dream. Ben,
Chris?
But
time check.
Time check.
I'm going to keep going.
it is 9:12.
Dope. Okay, I'm gonna fade to black here and pop back over to our favorite chapel.
Favorite chapel? We have a favorite chapel?
We sure do.
It's definitely not Gloomberger's favorite chapel. He fucking hates chapels.
Does he?
Several of Chris's, no, every single one of Chris's characters hate chapels.
Except my cleric.
Uh, would still hate most chapels though.
I don't know, Mitchell. I think you might be wrong about this one. Just this one. Just this one. Just this one
Alright.
about the chapel.
Okay, maybe one. I'll give you one. I will concede
Yes.
this.
This
Only
this
this
is
one.
only this one is the one that I think you're wrong about.
None other will be
None other.
conceded.
Yes, it is true. But the
Oh,
halls
and Normal
of
did try to hide behind Big Daddy Azuth.
always. He always tries. He always. It was really funny when Nordal had first attempted religion and just took it as this like I'm just gonna call out to them whenever I need something, and they're gonna do it for me type thing.
Yeah,
And
and
that's
then that
where
one time. Do you remember that one time that you let me roll a divine intervention check? And I got like either a 2 or a 98. Like I forget which one you need, but like I got it. And you're like, well, fuck, I guess Nordal does call upon, what was it, like a swarm of bats or something to save the party. And we're getting chased across the desert.
and that is when Nordal found God.
Mm-hmm.
The
And
that's not how faith works. If you know, it's not faith.
Listen, Cooldown really hopes that they've learned their lesson, but he really doesn't think they have. He can only hope and pray.
we will certainly see.
And that is true faith. And faith being bestowed upon someone else is a true act of faith that may instill faith in that faithless person.
Saying faith.
Say faith one more time.
I feel like you guys have no faith in me.
I feel like we give you too much.
Ow.
And you give it right back, man. You just threw a whole bunch of scenes on my lap this evening.
Yeah, how many characters did you switch between for that one?
Ben, you did save me, but then you made me worry when you when you threatened to bring
I was like,
Gloombringer back into the
so
scene.
cruel.
I was like,
It's like-
Gloomringer's gonna try and roleplay his way out of this one, and I hope it goes good. Oh, thanks. Wait a second.
He said, you should talk to Gloombringer. I was like, no, you didn't. Tagging yourself in.
He'd know how to handle this situation. He knows exactly what you want.
Chimera, as we round our way over to this temple, our camera lens pulling forward, we see the congregation gathering. There are some key dragonborn and churchgoers, about 4 of them. One dragonborn in particular, and about 3 of the human counterparts of the families, respective of the dragonborn that were reincarnated, that have really stood out and taken really important roles. This dragonborn in particular, what have they exemplified that has brought them to your attention, especially on this day?
Let's see. Okay, I can roll with this. So during the ritual of bringing these dragonborn to Sardior, these people demonstrated faith, and despite not understanding the situation, they performed and they embraced the moment of the act of supplication, of cleaning their loved ones' bodies, as well as the second part of telling stories and sharing memories, which strengthened their journey back. Everyone's journey, every soul's journey back to their body would be different. But these bodies, I did not expect to return. These were souls which seemed almost comfortable in death, but yet these family members called out and brought their loved ones back. There's something powerful about what they in particular performed.
And this dragonborn in particular is also shown some form of exemplary prowess. They've definitely taken a shine to Sardior's blessing. Almost like these things were destined, which it almost always feels like they are. And the divine and infinite knowledge of the gods, their plans and machinations are almost written into the weave itself.
And for these ones, so for everyone, Chimera would have told them to take a day, wrap up their affairs, and then return tomorrow for the journey on. But these 4, Chimera would have held back. And in sort of this moment of sort of alone, or being alone, Chimera would have summoned forth a hero's feast and encourage conversation. And once the feast is set, there is more than enough food for everyone. There's Chimera sitting at the head of the table, and then on flanked on 2 on each side, there's another person, and Chimera's, after spending a couple minutes and listening just to the conversation, Chimera would sort of start chiming in and start asking about these people. Turning to the closest one, he would say, "So tell me about your past life. What brought you here today?"
My name in the past life was Jordan. My mother was a weaver, and so was I. A seamstress, to be exact. I, I used to make dresses. Now I only know that Sardior has given me a great power. My mother sits across the table from me. Her name is Jonah.
Jonah.
Yes.
And then I would turn to Jonah and say, Jonah, your daughter here speaks of you being a weaver, but there must be more than being a weaver. A mother who made dresses.
My
That's
mother taught me to make dresses, and I taught my daughter to make dresses as well. It is a tradition in our families, but you are right. I am more than a seamstress and a weaver. I am a mother. I am a survivor of many wars. My daughter knows very well that we have escaped many hardships, but also that we have triumphed over them with our own sheer force of will. But no one, nothing has ever come to our aid like Sardior has, to bring back the last of my kin after losing not only my husband and both of my sons. To save my daughter is more than I could ever. And she can't even bring herself to speak more. She raises her hand to her lips and takes a moment to steel herself. Her daughter reaches a scaled hand across the table and soothes her mother.
it's it's impossible to know the plans of a god, but Sardior's come to me and he's let me know that there is a great war coming, and I believe that's exactly why his eye fell on you and his daughter, or your daughter. You are truly a survivor. You've not just survived, you've grown. Sardior's intent for bringing back all these people is to have them aid in this war, but it feels like there's something greater for for Jordan here. I I do not know exactly what that is, but I'm excited to see how Sardior's intentions manifest.
And I know that Sardior's blessing will manifest in me in ways I do not understand, but will be crucial and privy to my path and my walk. And I look forward to them.
My plan was to invite family members to join if they were moved by Sortier's actions here today. But it feels like, without even knowing that intention, you've already signed up for that. Very intriguing. Great things will happen. For Serdior, in this war that's coming, he needs great people who are experienced in war and who have triumphed over war, not just survived it. And I believe you play a very large part, Jonah and Jordan, both of you. And now there's two others, right? At the table, there's a
Yes.
total of 4. Yeah.
Yep. The other two sit across from each other, like Jordan and Jonah do.
All right, and I'm going to turn to the other sort of couple and say, I'm sorry, I've been a terrible host. Just talking to these two guests and ignoring you completely. My apologies. Tell me about yourselves. What brought you? What do you feel like brought you here today?
It's it's fate or destiny. But really, I think it was the need to never see someone I love perish again. I don't have anyone that was brought back. I was traveling through when it all happened. My name is Amir.
Amir?
Yes.
Amir?
Yes.
Thank you. So you were just traveling through?
Well, that is how I live most of my life until I met Sardior.
So who brought you to Sardior? Who did you lose? She was one of the people who participated in the ritual, right? Right?
No,
Mm.
I, Sardior did something for me. Sardior, he gave me strength. Ah, he teach me. He teach me how to protect in the danger Sardior showed me, and I save them. I save them people.
Amir, that is a manifestation of great blessings. The ability to save others, put others above yourselves. That explains why Sardier brought you here today. I'm glad to have you at this table. Thank you for your your service and aid that you rendered to others.
I thank you. I'm sorry. My my comment is broken. Me done. I'm sorry.
And then turning to the fourth person, I want to ask. So what is your name?
Most people call me Noah.
Is that what you prefer to be called? That's what most people call you.
Well, my name is a lot longer and more complicated than Noah, so it's easier for most people.
Okay. And what brought you to Darkhold, Noah?
I was born in Darkhold. My mother and father were both elves from warring tribes, and they fled. Had a baby, got stuck in Darkhold. Sad story, orphan type stuff. I don't really want to get into it in a church. But eventually I made a family. Eventually I fell in love. He's the kind of person who would throw himself in front of a moving locomotive if it meant saving someone else. And I'm the type of person who's only ever chasing after him. But this whole thing taught me so much. Well, Amir taught me so much. Because Amir is the reason why I'm here today. And has become one of my best friends.
I understand now. I understand now why both of you were brought here. There's so many threads of fate just being slowly pulled together with this. And just like threads, Jordan and Jonah, I feel like both of you are stronger with each other versus being apart. Amir and Noah, same thing. Stronger together, bound together versus individual threads. I am truly blessed that Sardior saw fit to bring you both under my temple. And I pray that I have the strength to lead and the wisdom as well. As all four of you, I can only see one or two steps ahead in your fate, but greatness greatness is there. enough of that. That is for tomorrow and the next day. For now, we have a feast. We have wine. Let's enjoy each other's company and enjoy the fact that we are able to have such blessings in our lives, because blessings are not always a guarantee, as we've just been reminded this week. So let's not neglect our blessings. Let's embrace them for the rest of the day.
Praise Sardior. Praise Sardior. Praise Sardior.
Sardior.
As we fade to black. When we fade to flames, brimstone, hellfire. There is a dichotomy in the story we tell, especially when we delve far from what is holy into the realms of the nine hells. Hmm. Ambassador.
Ambassador would be in Mephistophelix's study, probably just managing administrative tasks, which luckily Mephistopheles ordered was all to be done by pen and paper. So there is simply a pile of paper, and for each question that's being asked, each decision, Ambassador is attempting to find the right solution, and after writing out the response, it is stamped with a seal of Mephistopheles and dispatched, and then Ambassador moves on to the next task.
You work through the feelings left behind of Faust no longer being around to suffer your tutelage and instruction at every hour, though you're starting to think the young boy might actually enjoy it, might actually crave knowledge, learning, and understanding more and more about exactly what his gift, or so he calls it, is. Lost in paperwork, you finally get to the last of your stack, the final one, and it requires your immediate action, not just a stamp, signature, or writing. It is upon the label that you read, the action upon Mephistophelex's uh, acquisition. It is cleverly worded, but you know exactly what they're speaking of. And it does require some coordination with the Cirque Magnifique to acquire this small venture in and a performance, uh, perhaps, or whatever the event may take form in on the plane of limbo. What's needed is a direct plan and a movement of action. And it may require you speaking to Baron to do so.
So I got an assignment to go to Limbo.
You got an assignment to finish up this loose end with. It's a memo you sent to yourself to finish up this loose end with the Cirque Magnifique to coordinate getting Mephistopheles out of Limbo. Because if you
Gotcha.
remember, there was a War Room episode where you guys were talking about it, and you're like, okay, we're gonna do this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Clip that. Rewind.
This
Play.
is kind of low key what I wanted. One of the things I wanted to do, possibly.
Action.
Right. Well, all good things must come to an end, and I guess it's time to retrieve Mephistopheles. Okay. We recently traveled for Charmcaster to retrieve her brother to a different plane. He was in prison, and that worked out fairly well. She does have the gift of sight. I believe Charmcaster is probably the right first step in that direction. After that, I'll take one last look at my inbox, and after seeing that nothing's appeared, in a puff of sulfur, I will return to what we're now going to refer to as Tortle, and I'll go to Neverwinter to go seek out Charmcaster.
And you find her in her tent, eyes glowing, surveilling the world through her crystal balls. I was wondering where you were going.
I had things to do, but I'm back here now. And how's your brother?
Things to do with me.
In a roundabout way, I had other stuff to manage, but now, yes. In fact, things to do with you, but I'm sure with your power of sight, you might already know where I'm going, but just for the niceties, the politeness of situations.
Well, don't misunderstand. I can see everything. That doesn't mean I can see the future or the past, or hear what's going on. That takes a little more effort.
Oh, that's good to know. I've just been on my best behavior for the last couple of weeks. I figured that whenever you wanted to, you could have just popped popped a seeing eye. I've been so good.
I mean, like I mentioned, with a little effort, I can really keep an eye on you. But do I want to do that?
I don't think either one of us want you to do that.
And there's your answer.
But I do need your help. It wasn't my intention when helping you retrieve your brother, but I have a problem very similar where I need to retrieve someone from limbo.
So I've heard.
And you seem to have. Well, actually, we think we were a decent team. Had a knack for retrieving. That's why I thought I'd come to you and see if you'd be willing to help with my little project.
The only problem with limbo is the magic there is chaotic enough to redirect trajectories. It's not going to be simple as getting in and breaking out with brute force like Carcery. The magic's going to be wild. It's going to be unpredictable, and we're going to have a hard time dealing with that type of, well, entropy. It's a good thing we have a train conductor, but I don't know how much that's going to even help. Limbo's a whole nother monster. Whoever wanted Mephistopheles gone, they sent them to Limbo for a reason. But I'll try and find them. Just give me a second here. Slowly, Charmcaster begins to float further into the center of the room, where the crystal balls begin to converge. One of them darts from outside into the tent, orbits around her, and then begins to line up with the rest. 9 of them in total form a straight line. They raise towards her eye level, and almost like a piercing lens, she looks through each of them simultaneously. The glow of her eyes intensifies and magnifies through each of the crystal balls. The powerful magics raise. The auras glow brighter. And through the piercing veil, through the chaotic storm, through the tumultuous debris that floats through limbo, you see Mephistopheles, barred and chained in a magical prison. One made of divine restraints, locked away in the ever-changing and tumultuous winds of that chaotic plane. You risk being lost to limbo just going there, let alone trying to get in and out safely. Let alone breaking these magical restraints if you do find Mephistopheles in this maze. Are you ready to do something like this, Ambassador?
I am. Don't really have a choice in the matter. It's time. He can only be his disappearance can only be managed for so long. So there's divine restraints. You're a master thief? And I mean that in the best possible way.
And I
Have
take
you
that in the
encountered that?
best possible way.
I'm glad. Have you ever encountered anything like that?
Hmm. Huh. Divine restraints. No. Maybe divine shackles. Locks. Um. All I can think is that the power in divine magic is faith based, and the power in infernal magic is the exploitation of hopelessness, of despair, the unweaving and undoing of things by their own undoing. There has to be a way to unlock this magic with an equal and opposite force. I'm sure that there's some spells that could do it if powerful enough. You just have to think about the scale we're looking at. This magic bound to God.
So we need a. So you're thinking we need a cause sufficient anguish to offset the divine powers of the shackles.
Sounds like you need a ritual to gather power. Sounds like you need to talk to the Gede. But in the meantime, I have to stay here and take care of some things. So I won't be exactly ready to go to limbo at any point. However, you can take this. And she channels all of the energy into one crystal ball. And it floats next to you and follows you. It will lead you to Mephistopheles. It is unwavering, and as long as it is not destroyed and you do not lose it, it will find its way there.
Thank you. I appreciate this, and good luck with what's keeping you here.
Ah, I appreciate it. She waves a hand and the crystal balls go back to their slowly drift back to their positions floating in the air above. And she turns back and begins to surveil again, keeping an eye over the entire carnival and beyond.
Right. The Family Gede is the next stop. Was it, was Criminal the wizard?
Samedi is the wizard, Criminal
Samedi.
is the bard, and Raku is our monk.
Samedi. Samedi is the one who worked with Mephistopheles last campaign. Samedi's the one I'm going to seek out.
Hey, The Gede Mansion is accessible via the circus. Ambassador, you find your way there quite easy. Using magics privy to someone of your caliber, you quite easily traverse demi-planes and reach the ethereal, stepping at their door and raising a hand to knock. When Criminel, the bard, opens the door before your hand can reach the wood. Oh! You're late. Come on. Come on.
And just a big smile is going to go across the ambassador's face. It's nice dealing with proper criminals. And ambassador's just going to follow along. Let's go. We're late. I won't hold us up.
And leads you into the entertaining room not far. The Gede home is decorated with masks and tribal effigies from several planes and verses over. You see a melding of worlds, and you see items here from Toril, from what you would think to be maybe Eberron, and you see other iterations and other effigies of other barons, ones that you've never met before, all represented here. But as you walk into the mansion, you find Criminel sits at the piano, but not to play it, on the opposite side of it, while Samedi is sat on the couch with a book in hand, reading quietly to themselves.
Barons, family Gede. I understand I'm late, so I won't waste your time.
It is fine.
Family.
Raku is late as well. It is good to see you, Ambassador. Please, come. Have a seat.
And Ambassador will enter the room and sit across from the family Gede. So I'm just going to go into the owlbear.
I always arrive just as I am meant to.
You arrived late, as always.
And it is meant to be that way.
A vein pops up over the left side of Samedi's forehead, and he closes the book with one hand, and the snap echoes throughout the room. Enough! Ambassador, please. Let us move on to business.
Of course. Samedi, I do not know the balance of favors between yourself and Mephistopheles. I do know that you work together, but I'm not sure if you're in his debt or he's in yours, but I would like to add on to his tab. He's, probably as you're aware, gotten himself into some trouble. Now in limbo, and it's it's time to bring him back to his domain. Charmcaster has been very kind. This orb will bring us to him, but as you know, it's not as a matter as simple as stopping the train and collecting him when grabbing someone from limbo. So I'm coming to you for help in retrieving him.
We already decided that we were gonna find poor Alex in limbo. But as we decided, we were gonna seek the children of Igwilib first.
That's the thing. You decided. I never agreed to that.
You were there. You had your chance to speak.
I was there. I watched you draw a card and then make a decision. I do have another choice. There's another person who Alex worked with. And I'm not sure you want him getting closer to her instead of you.
The tensions are rising higher than they need to. I believe there are feelings that have been unresolved, but there is no reason to lash out now. We must continue to work together against the rising tide that forms against us. Isn't that right, brother?
What? It doesn't matter. Or this one first, that one first. Whatever you think is best.
Ambassador will give a nod in agreement.
This does not give you the right to walk into my home and make demands. Remember this. The Gede are giving. We are family. But we are family. Remember this.
I do not believe I came in here and made demands. In fact, I came in here confirming that this is not a free act of charity. I was seeking your help, and in exchange, Mephistopheles would owe you one. So, I appreciate your help, but I just do not want this moment to be mischaracterized.
Ah, devils. Well, your deal is struck. We can mobilize when the time is right.
Yes, I understand it's a very elaborate task, requiring great agony. I believe I have the resources to help with that element.
What do you mean?
You need to release him. Sorry, to release him, you need beings who are suffering great agony. I run a dungeon that's filled with people being tortured at any given time. So, to simplify things, I can leverage that resource. What does it matter if they're being tortured there or here or over there?
That seems like a silly thing to need.
It seems like he needs a great deal of power. But what is it that you truly need? What are you trying to do? What is it that he must be freed from? These are the
Freed
questions
from
we must answer.
divine chains, it's my understanding.
These shackles, they must be broken with power great enough to oppose it. I think this is where your misconceptions have formed. But he is not wrong, Raku. The great agony of many can be channeled into great dark power. But the question is, how would we do this?
Let me see. If what would I do if I was tying up a god?
Criminal's just laying on his back with his feet posted up on top of the chairs. Just like slowly beating at his drums, and you can slowly see a spirit being called, and it starts to dole out a very lazy piano tune.
Well, yeah, something must be powering those chains. Yes? Why don't we just take that power away from them? Instead of breaking it, weaken it.
Hmm. Somebody seems to think to themselves for a moment. And how would we do this? That is the question. Perhaps, perhaps there is a way in my book. from what he gleams in the pages, it doesn't seem like immediately somebody finds anything. Keeps looking through them. But it seems that the entire room is stumped. No one has anything to contribute here. Criminal just continues to thump away slowly at his drum.
I've been fighting most of my battles head on. Worked out so far. Why don't we just go and try it the old-fashioned way? Take what we want.
But if we need suffering to offset the opposing power, Baron, I believe you're famous for your dance parties, which solely cause its targets to die. Could
Yeah.
that be suffering?
I can do much with people, with dancing, with souls, with bodies. But not really familiar with harnessing that to break chains. Warm chains I can do. Yes, what power is plenty of power. Plenty of power. How to use it? This I don't know. I've never tried to break chains before. You ever breaking divine chains there, Samdi?
He waves a hand, not looking up from his book. I'm looking. No, I never have broken divine chains. What do you mean, broke divine chains?
What if we don't break them?
That's what I said in the first place.
What if I take his place? Can you find a way to make that happen?
Well, that's just dumb.
Okay.
I don't know. He is kind of getting on my nerves.
Ah, cool.
No. No, that's silly. If we could put you in there, we could just take him out.
That is my point
Yeah.
exactly.
Why don't we just take him out? Leave the chains. Just take him out.
We could kill him.
That would be very cathartic.
The entire room goes silent as they look first at you, Ambassador, and then at Raku.
What?
And then somebody shakes his head.
He's a devil. His soul will then return to the eighth, where he will be brought back to life. He will lose power as he reestablishes. But if we can't find a way to break the chains, can't find a way to pick the lock, just a couple quick disintegrations.
Very possible that these divine chains bind his soul as well. I may have an idea.
As we begin to zoom in on Baron Raku's mischievous face as he flips the cards in his hand, and we fade to black. That is where we will end for tonight, where our story will pause for the moment as machinations begin to shape and the cirque goes on through the night. Amazing session, guys. Good job. Great keeping up the pace. Was really worried that I wouldn't be able to give Chris enough spotlight. I wanted, I didn't, but there's a lot of, like, everyone has a lot of alt characters, and it's hard to get them all to interact with each other in all of the scenes, but I think you guys do a great job. Chris, I do want to know if you feel like you did get enough airtime tonight. I hope you do feel like you got some good airtime.
Yeah, of course. And, it's not about just balancing things in one week. Like, it's, potentially a give and take over, for this group, a series of years now. So, I'm not going to, be counting my minutes in any given session. So please don't worry about that.
I just want everyone to feel included. And I know we're telling a big story, but I want to keep it fresh and I want to make everyone feel included in the game, you know? But I'm glad to hear that. That is good to hear and good to feel. We're gonna start with our closing time things. We're gonna start with some good old nominations. I want to give a shout out to literally each and every one of you. Fucking amazing role playing, like switching characters left and right, picking up the role play and the dialogue and keeping it pushing and keeping it moving and keeping it rolling and just telling a really lively story. Um, and I'm just really excited that I get to watch that happen in real time, and I just get to throw curveballs at you. I just get to say, "Okay, here's your opening to your scene. Go!" And y'all are like, "Ah, okay," and you roll with it, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So with that being said, you all can take a point of love for me.
Oh,
Yep,
love point.
you all get a love point from me. You can cash in your love point at some point later on in your life with me. And I'll tell you what it does then. But otherwise, we're gonna go to let's start with Gloombringer for nominations.
Um, let's see. I'm gonna vote for Ben for keeping it fun, for keeping it light, for keeping it sassy on his new character.
I hope I didn't open Pandora's box there, but Z doesn't care. He's retired. Um. Let's. What's on right now? It's just three of us. I'm gonna have to give it to Gloombringer. Well, to Mitch for just the sheer number of characters tonight. Good job.
Thanks.
Not only has a character with an infinite amount of personalities, but has the most amount of characters in the roster. Probably. Yeah. True Bard. Mitchell. Just go off, man.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I was going to do as well. I was going to say Mitch for playing like what 4 characters this episode, and then like so on. You just threw like the ultimate loophole of hey, do you remember this character you played 2 years ago?
Dude.
I told him earlier, but he didn't want to listen. He's like, okay, I'm gonna leave now. I'm like, all right, fine. Wait to see what happens. No, all in all, I think you did a really great job. Um, and you get to take your well-deserved point of inspiration. And
Now the question is where to put it.
where to put it? Where to put it?
I'm gonna
Put
put
on
it on
Thorn.
cooldown.
You could put it on cooldown.
Cooldown gets inspiration.
Um, with that being said, let's name tonight's episode.
Personally, I was really proud of Shantae Eustace.
A breeze of benevolence.
Something smells like bread.
Who's the good guys here?
We've done that one.
That's a frequent theme. Got ourselves a Lilith Sanctuary story up in y'all.
It is the theme of the campaign.
I want to change my other one to it smells like books and bread.
Ooh, no, it smells like fish.
Oh, that's not the best one.
I mean, it's not like an appealing title, but like
What does smell say?
something with the siblings now. Siblings 3. Unexpected brother. Oh my god, so many of them. Don't go that way.
We could call it. We can call it so. It could be something about family. There was a lot about family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ambassadors technically like Mephistophelex's family, and Ambassador, we opened up with Faust in with his vampire stepdad,
Mm.
or not stepdad, his vampire dad, and finishing his very hard and troubling ritual to finish his harrowing. Then we went to Z, whose only real family is Tempo, but Tempo's missing. And Harumi found a box from her home, and we already know Harumi's home life is tragic because you guys literally had to kill her mom. And she was really intrigued about something about her home. So, ooh, bam, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4 family ties. And then where did we go after that?
Ooh, I mentioned the feel goods vibes of home
You
and my
did,
and
you
my
did,
my blessings.
you did. And then I think right after that, you and Dream went to find Charmcaster.
Mm.
And Charmcaster was
Who's with
dealing
her
with her brother.
brother? He's having some pretty tough times right now.
And then Dream found her brother. And then those two, after Dream found her brother, where did we go? Uh, yeah, I think something about family. Family, 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 family. Family, family, family.
Feud.
Um,
Family feud.
Family Feud. Blood is thicker than.
Family's tree. Tree as in three and tree.
Reunion.
Hmm. Hmm. It's a tough one. That's a good family one.
Uh,
Worlds apart.
ooh, that's a good one. It's like them all trying to come together.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I like that. We'll do worlds apart.
All right. Got a winner.
We definitely do. And with that being said, thank you all for tuning in, listening in, joining us to tell this wonderful story. Until next week, wake now from the real world and say goodnight, stream.
That's
Good
true.
night, stream.
I'll only say if Ben says it.
Mitchell, don't do this to me too.
Ben says it, I'll say it.
Wow, you guys suck.
Wow.